Just wanted to say what's up. Gonna try to do some more shooting today. I'm gonna try to get another video up. I think consistency is gonna be the key with this, especially in the beginning, just developing a comfort level in front of the camera. So, but yeah, man, I'm gonna try to get up with another vlog, kind of expounding on some of the points that I missed yesterday. I know the title of the vlog yesterday was how to get paid on Instacart, and I think that some of the things that I talked about were definitely valid as far as paying attention to your appearance in order to put people at ease and things like that. But you know, at the same time, there's other things that you can do to kind of boost your revenue. So I'm gonna try to touch on some of those today. Just out walking my dog right now, so you know, once I get up and running, definitely try to hit y'all back, see if we can take you along for day 2. So yeah, man, until later, deuces. All right, here's Snowy. She wanted to say what's up. She's out doing her thing, doing her morning thing. She likes to chase the birds. So, so we're out doing our thing this morning. But yeah, man, I'm definitely gonna hit y'all back a little bit later. So until then. Okay, y'all, so yeah, some things you can do to increase your revenue on Instacart. We're just kind of touching on what I talked about yesterday. I think first off, you want to look the part. You have to remember that this is a job, so even though you may not be doing it full time, I mean, there are people who do it full time, and then there's those who don't. So if you're not doing it full time, I think you still have to give it the full, you know, respect and full appreciation, you know, as a full-time job, because at the end of the day, the people that you're delivering to, they're not asking whether or not this is your full-time gig, or you know what your background story is. They just want their stuff. And I mean, if you can help put them at ease by looking the part, then that can go a long way toward increasing their comfort, their level of comfortability. And if they're more comfortable, then they're a lot more inclined to you know, make it worth your while for doing something for them. So I just think that you can never discount the importance of that. And that's not to say that you have to, you know, you have to wear a suit or anything like that, because I don't, you know, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, for me today, I'm wearing a pair of you know, green skinnies, black espadrilles, and a blue short sleeve button up. So you know, I'm not dressed to the nines, but you know, at the same time, I do think that, you know, putting some thought into what it is that you're gonna wear to someone's home or to someone's place of business, I do think that that's something that, you know, that there's something to be said for that. And I think that people can appreciate that, and people can understand that you didn't have to do that, because there are those delivery people who don't put a lot of effort into their appearance, don't put any thought into their appearance at all. And that's not to say that people hold it against you necessarily, because I don't think that they do. But tipping is a bonus. It's not a requirement. It's just, you know, it's an extra. And I think that if people can see that you went the extra mile, then, you know, maybe in that regard, they'll also want to go the extra mile. So yeah, that's you know, that's one thing that you can do to kind of you know, improve your bottom line. Me again. I'm back just thinking about something else that you could do to potentially you know, increase your revenue. And you know, while I'm thinking about it, I think with Postmates, or not Postmates, with Instacart, I actually used to drive for Postmates, which is another food delivery service. But with Instacart, I think that there's certain things that you're not expected to do that maybe with some other delivery services you are expected to do, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do them. So like when I drove with Postmates, you would be responsible for actually communicating with the customer. So As far as letting them know, what your ETA is looking like, things like that, you'd actually communicate with them. Versus with Instacart, you've got a customer service team, shopper happiness group or whatever, that's actually responsible for constant updates. But it doesn't mean that you can't do it. I know me personally, on some of these orders, I'll call the customer and just let them know, hey, I'm 15 minutes out, just leaving the store, so I'll see you in a second. And you always want to pay attention to your tone, make sure you're pleasant, things of that sort. But I think that something like that can go a long way toward building trust. And once you've built trust with the customer, then that can go a long way toward increasing their level of comfort with you. And if they're more comfortable with you, then they're a little bit more inclined to want to leave tips. And with any of these apps, I think they're tip driven. The base commission that you're going to receive with Instacart off of the order, and then off of the delivery commission, it's good. It's okay. And then there's certain areas that have it built in to where it's guarantee or whatever they call that. But even if you're not in an area where it's guaranteed, the fact that you're paid per item, plus a delivery commission, it's okay. You can make pretty good money. But it's a tip-driven industry, so I think that when you can do things like communicate with the customer, even though it's something that you don't have to do on this platform, it is something that goes a long way toward building trust, and it is something that goes a long way toward instilling confidence that you're a competent person. Because at the end of the day, you're handling their food, and you're handling things that are you're handling things that they value. So whenever that's the case, you always want to make sure you're building a level of confidence and a level of trust. So yeah, staying in constant communication is also something that you can do. So yeah, I'll hit you back a little bit later with something else. Yeah. What else can you do to increase your revenue with Instacart? Let's see. You can remind people as far as tipping goes, because I think for me the topic of the discussion today, I'm really focusing on tipping. You can't really affect too much change as far as the base monies that you receive, so tipping is the one thing that you have an element of control over. So everything that I'm talking about today is referring to tipping. So yeah, you can remind them in subtle ways that tipping is an option, because sometimes people are under the impression that some of the fees that they're paying are going to the drivers. Sometimes it may be an excuse, but I think there are a lot of people that are actually confused, especially people that this is their first or second time placing an order, because I've had people just tell me outright that they were under the impression that certain fees went to the drivers that don't, at least not directly. There's certain things that I've been told the drivers benefit from indirectly, but as far as direct monies, some people actually don't even really know that tipping is an option. So you can just kind of bring it to their attention in subtle ways. I mean, you never want to ask for a tip, but the way that it works on Instacart, they can tip at the beginning of the order when they're placing the order, or they can tip afterward when they receive an email or a text message from Instacart. So you could just kind of let them know as you're dropping off the order that, hey, be on the lookout for an email or a text that they're gonna send that's just asking you to rate the order, and then once they get that email or that text, they'll see in the body of that tipping is an option. So for some people, that just goes a long way toward, just kind of letting them know that tipping is an option, because I've had people just outright ask me, how can we tip you guys? Some people tip in cash. Cash is always an option, but some people aren't even aware of the fact that they can. So yeah, that's something else that you can do. You can just kind of inform them and just educate them a little bit into the way that the service works. Because I know for me personally, I've been educated on a daily basis. It's something that you learn new things every day. So being that we're learning new things every day, you have to give customers that same benefit. Not everyone's been doing this for years or for an extended period of time. For some people, this is a new thing, so you've got to do a little bit of educating in terms of letting them know sometimes the way that it works. So yeah, man, just keep that in mind also. All right, y'all. Last but not least, I think piggybacking on some of the other things that we've touched on today, we've talked about the importance of appearance. Kind of goes without saying. We've talked about the importance of communicating with the customer. We've talked about the importance of reaching out and educating the customer. I think last but not least, you've got to always remember that you're your number one resource, so to speak. I think that you sell yourself in a lot of different ways. I think that your attitude can go a long way toward determining whether or not people tip. I know me personally, regardless of what I have going on outside of this, I try to remain pleasant, and I try to keep the entire transaction as as pleasant as possible, because I think that instills a level of confidence, and it also instills a level of trust, along with some of the other things we talked about. But it also lets the customer know that they're not dealing with a volatile or a potentially volatile situation. And when people are entrusting you to come into their home or deliver to their home, I think that that's pivotal. I've had experiences with other Instacart shoppers that you just see out and about, that you may strike up a conversation with, and I've had pleasant experiences, and then I've had experiences that were just sort of mediocre. And that's not to say that you ever expect people to be bubbly, because everyone's personality isn't that. And I think that we've always got to pay attention to that. We've always got to understand that. But by the same token, I think that when you are pleasant, it really sets the tone for the day, and it really sets the tone for the order. So I think that when you smile to people, when you converse with them, strike up conversations, I think that it allows them to see your human side, so to speak. And I don't know how much sense that makes. Maybe waiters and people like that will be able to understand where I'm coming from. But I just think that when you kind of break it down and people are able to see you as a human, or as a person, and not just an entity that's doing a job, I think that it enables them, it enables some of their walls to be taken down, because I think a lot of people have built-in defense mechanisms, and a lot of people have built-in defenses in terms of not seeing people as people, so to speak. And that's another conversation for another day. But I think that when you're able to allow people to see that you are a person, just like they are, it sets their mind at ease. And I think that when people's mind is put at ease, then they are more apt to see the situation for what it is. And not only are you a service provider, but you're also a person. And I think that common sense says that we're not out here getting rich. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant, you understand that the waiter who brings you your food, or when you go to a hotel, the bellman that carries your bags, you understand that they're not getting rich. And so if you can have a pleasant experience with the person that's providing you a service, then it just makes it a little bit easier for you to want to reward them for the service that they provided for you, because you always know that they're getting paid. But by the same token, in industries where tips are appreciated, or even a part of the industry, I think that people don't have a problem tipping as long as they feel like they're tipping someone who deserves it. And I think that your attitude can go a long way toward determining whether or not a person feels like you deserve it. So I think that when you are pleasant, and when you try to make the overall experience pleasant, then that can go a long way toward determining whether or not you're going to receive a tip. So yeah, man, just something else to keep in mind, something else to consider, something else to think about. So if I think about anything else, I'll hit y'all up later. So yeah. All right, y'all, so that's pretty much a wrap for the day. I was thinking that maybe I would have an opportunity to kind of check back in and give you an update on how the day was going, but it didn't really play out that way. So yeah, as far as the ways that you can really maximize your profitability with Instacart is basically just the things that we talked about earlier. Parents, communication, educating the customers, and then just being nice. Essentially, like I say, you want to give them a pleasant experience. So for me personally, those are the things that work. Feel free to comment down below if you have any other suggestions, if you have anything that you didn't feel like I touched on, or if you disagree with me. But like I say, always feel free to leave comments down below. Definitely go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. So yeah, man, until next time, deuces.